Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Late Shift. As you know, the show usually comes out every Friday, but we decided to push it. We decided to push it to today, Monday. But we're here. We're here. We'll not let you down, people. So let's get it on, man. Let's get it on. New week. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Yesterday was the Oscars. One of my favorite movies so far, Get Out. Won Best Screenplay, Best Original Screenplay. I'm just happy about that, man. I wish it won Best Film as well, but it didn't. I think that went to The Shape of Water. Haven't seen that yet. Keen to see it though. But yeah, congratulations to everybody who won, especially the Mamba. He won Best Short Film Animated for Dear Basketball. I haven't seen it. I've seen like a snippet of it but I'm keen to watch it. So shout out to Kobe Bryant. That is absolutely incredible. So, let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. How about we start off with Manjoba Angel Christianity. So this is basically a church that was formed by some gentlemen. I'm actually not going to call it a church, I'm going to call it a cult, because that's exactly what it is. And basically they had a shootout with the police. I think about 3 or 4 lives were lost, main members of this cult. The crazy thing about this is that the women of this cult, who refer to the gentlemen as their kings, had no idea about the illegal activity that was taking place at their compound. You know, the crazy thing about this is that this is Waco all over again. You know, this is one of those type of situations, and if you look at it, this is something that seems to happen a lot with cults. They always get into these type of situations. The reason why I'm speaking about this is because it was really trending on Facebook last week. We saw former police minister Fikile Mabula. He was there as well, basically just to address the people. It's a very big issue. It's a serious issue, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you need to also be paying attention to your religious beliefs. You know, because at the end of the day, I know that, you know, especially when you go through a tough time, or you're going through a tough time, you need answers, you're looking for something. The one thing a lot of people fall to is religion. You know, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but, you know, pay attention out there, because at the end of the day, there are people who are looking to take advantage of you. You know, so focus on that. And yeah, you know, speaking about Fikile Mbalula, he, you know, obviously everybody knows about the cabinet reshuffle. Apparently there's still more firings to take place. He mentioned it. You know, he said that there's still more people to get fired. You know, we've seen Nhlahla Nene is back, Pravin Gordhan is back, Bheki Cele is back. There's a lot of great people that are back and going forward to push the country forward. You know, I'm excited about that. You know, when we speak about this cabinet reshuffle, I guess we have to speak about the land expropriation as well. You know, mainly because Parliament has passed it, where they will be giving land back without compensation. Now, it's not done. It's not a done deal yet. There is still a lot of red tape and paperwork and all of that and reviews. I know that there's an ad hoc committee that was created. There's a lot that still needs to take place here, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot. You know, and it's crazy that this has actually started to cause a massive continued divide amongst the races in South Africa. You know, this is another issue it's not another issue, it's the same issue that we've been dealing with. You know, this country is born off the back of racism. Does that mean we have to stay that way? You know, it doesn't, I really don't think we should. You know, we need to figure out a way to start having these conversations a lot more openly. I mean, I saw it just this morning. I was always seeing things on Twitter and on Facebook about, you know, people basically saying, just because, you know, the way white people hide the fact that they are racist through having black friends needs to come to an end. That's just a fact, right? Just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist. It means that you are racist and you're trying to cover it up. We hear it all the time, right? I'm not racist, I have black friends. Cool, that's great. But anytime we say that, you sound stupid. So, how do we address these issues? I really feel we just need to talk. We need to talk a lot more openly. If you are a racist, come out and say that you are racist, give your reasons, and you must accept what will come from that. It's that simple. You know, it's almost like people don't want to accept that they're racist because they feel that they'll be judged. Yeah, you will be judged, most definitely, but at least you are honest. For me, that's the most important thing, right? Rather be honest. Speaking about crazy things going on in South Africa, I don't know if you guys heard about the listeriosis outbreak that has taken place. I think it's about 180 people have died from this. Enterprise Viennas, Rainbow Viennas and Russians. And I mean, I'm kind of bummed, you know, because I'm such a big fan of Russians. You know, I love Russians. Russians and chips with a Coke, that's like one of my favorite meals of all time. And now I can't eat that anymore. Everybody needs to, you know, if you have those products, you can take them back to where they were purchased, and you will get a full refund for it, even if it has been eaten. The health department has urged people to get rid of any of those foods, Enterprise or Rainbow. Yeah, guys, pay attention. Pay attention. It's massive. 180 lives have been lost to this. I don't know what's going to happen from here. Where does this leave Tiger Brands in terms of all of this? Do they accept responsibility for this? Where do we go from here? You know, let's not blame, but let's figure out how to address the situation. 180 lives have been lost. This is a very serious situation. You know, so we need to figure out what exactly, how did this happen? How did we get here? How did 180 lives get lost before we had to go, oh God, there's a crisis? You know, we've got to be able to preempt things before they happen. Everybody needs to start doing their due diligence in whatever your field is. That's just my thought here. But hey, this is a little bit crazy. This is something that I saw trending on Twitter last week. Was safe abortion, and this was mainly in South Africa that people were speaking about it. Why are we discussing safe abortion? It's crazy that I'm having to ask that question because I know the answer. We live in a world where women are not being treated correctly when it comes to them getting abortions. You know, you have your illegal abortion clinics and all that type of jazz. But, you know, on the topic of abortion, I feel that every woman has a choice. Every woman has a choice to choose what she does with her body. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why we keep having this conversation. Why do we keep chastising women who had abortions or who have abortions or who choose to have abortions? They have a right to choose. It's their choice, their bodies. They are, I mean, you know, the funny thing is for me, I think I actually believe that I respect a woman a lot more who chooses to have an abortion. If you know that you can't provide for that child, I mean, if you can't provide for yourself, imagine what it's like to provide for a child. And I mean, a lot of these women are single mothers. So you're gonna raise a child as a single mother. It's not right to the child. It's not fair to the child. And it's not fair to that mother to have to go through that and have to put that child through that pain and suffering. So I'm here for safe abortions. I applaud safe abortions, and I applaud the choice. Every woman has a right to choose. It's her body, not yours. We need to stop putting regulations. It's crazy how we put regulations on women, right? Isn't that just insanity? It's insane that we put that type of nonsense on women. We tell women what they can and can't do with their bodies. I've never heard that for men. Never. Men can do whatever the heck we want with our bodies. And it's all good. These double standards, man, these double standards need to start coming to an end very, very quickly. Really, they really, really do. Moving on. What do we want to talk about? We want to talk about, you know, the anti-Semitic attacks that have increased in the world in 2017. You know, I don't even know why these are things that are taking place. You know, it's why do humans hate humans so much? What is that? When did we get here? When did we start? When did we get to this point where humans hate humans this much? Where your religion and your race is something that can get you killed? It's baffling to me that this is what happens, and we have the audacity to judge animals in the wild. They have a lot more decorum than we do. They follow rules. We do not follow rules. We do what we choose to do, and we blame it on something else. Oh, I killed him because he was Jewish, and I'm Christian, and I'm against him. Come on, people. Come on. It's insane. You know, we need to change. We need to change the world. We need to change the world going forward, man. Come on, guys. Moving on. Let's talk about the Trumps, Ivanka and Jared Kushner, specifically I don't know, is it Ivanka Trump Kushner? Ivanka Kushner Trump? I guess he has Ivanka Trump, but what ifs? I don't know if you guys saw, Jared Kushner's security clearance has been downgraded from top secret to just secret. Why does Jared Kushner have top secret security clearance at the White House? He's probably the most famous son-in-law in the history of the freaking world. Like, what this man he's been given the task of fixing the Middle East. What experience does Jared Kushner have doing anything like that? Where did he get this experience from? I don't understand this, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolute insanity. It's really, in my opinion, it's time for Jared Kushner to get fired. There's way too many people at the White House who are doing a job that they have no business doing. Ivanka Trump, the first daughter. I think she's the first daughter in politics in US history, that is at least, to be so involved in the White House. I don't know if you guys saw her interview where she basically was asked by a reporter if she believes the allegations made against her father by the sexual assault victims. And she felt that no, that's an inappropriate question to ask a daughter. Is it not inappropriate all the damn nasty stuff your father has done? That's inappropriate to me. That, with your position in the White House, that's inappropriate. Jared Kushner's position, that's inappropriate. As a woman, as somebody who says that they champion women's rights and the Me Too movement and all of that, you can't come out and say that then. It's that simple. You cannot do that. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. You can't have those double standards. When it suits you, you choose. I mean, look at the disgusting things your father has said to you in your presence about you. Ah, come on. Come on, Ivanka. Staying at the White House, of course, the main man himself, Robert Mueller, had he sit down with Hope Hicks to discuss her involvement at the White House. And shortly after, Hope Hicks resigned. One of the reasons why she resigned was because she said that, yes, she does sometimes tell little white lies for Donald Trump. Now, first and foremost, that is wrong. You cannot condone, a lie is a lie. I don't care what color you want to call it or paint it or whatever. A lie is a lie. You coming out and saying you lied for the president, that's a problem. Obviously, Donald was furious about it. He said that was very stupid of her to say. And that's crazy. Coming from Donald Trump saying that somebody did something stupid is insane to me, because I'm kind of like, all you do is stupid things. Right? I mean, we saw him attack Alec Baldwin, or was it Alex Baldwin? He spelled dying wrong. Come on, a lot of the things this man does is stupid. But anyway, Hope Hicks is now gone, head of communications. I mean, how many more people are going to get fired before, let's say, June? Honestly, Jeff Sessions is going to last. We've seen he's fighting with Jeff Sessions. What's going to happen? How many more people are going to get fired before everybody in the Trump presidency goes to jail? That's my question. Because I feel like people are jumping ship before they go to jail. So it's one of those type of situations. But keep an eye on that, guys. I'm keeping a close eye on it. Robert Mueller he's on fire. You know, so we're gonna see some cool things, a lot of interesting things coming out of that, out of the investigation. I'm super excited. Moving on. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Little Things closed down on Thursday. Little Things is basically a lifestyle Facebook page and blog, and they closed down, man. They closed down because of the Facebook algorithm change. Now this is real. If you're not, and that's Facebook's move is a brilliant move, right? If you're not putting money into ads to get your stuff into people's news feeds, this is what's going to happen to you. This is people not preempting the changes and also putting all your eggs in one basket. I don't know the structure of Little Things. I don't know how their business actually functions in the grand scheme of things. But I feel that there could have been a different way for them to go about this. They could have preempted this. They could have really not just committed to being on Facebook alone. So that's also one of my suggestions to everybody out there. Don't just commit to one platform. Yes, your audience might be there, your community might be there, but there's also a possibility to take your community elsewhere when these changes do take place. So you're not left stranded. You know, just focus on that. Moving on. Rassie Erasmus is the new Springbok coach and still the director of rugby. I don't even want to talk about this for too long because it's just absolute insanity. Yes, Rassie Erasmus deserves a chance since he's been appointed. Yes, he does deserve a chance, but giving yourself a 6-year contract, what is the criteria for that? We need to find these things out, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sorry, if I get hired, if I get appointed to a job, I have a specific criteria to reach, right? If I don't reach that criteria, I get reviewed and I either get fired or I stay on. What is Rassie's criteria? We know he's staying for the next 2 World Cups, I think. If he gets, what happens? What are we aiming for the final in the next World Cup? What is it? We need to, you know, just so the people know, get the people involved so that we can understand what's happening. I don't understand why we should be left in the dark and then we're seeing all this shady stuff take place and we're not supposed to say anything about it. Come on, people. Moving on. I don't know if you guys know about Anastasia Vashkovich. She became, I guess, famous as an Instagram model because of her racy selfies. She's basically asking for help from the American government because she's in prison in Thailand. And one of the reasons why she's asking the American government for help is because she says that she has information. She says she's the missing link between the collusion between Russia and America. Now, this was reported by the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Huffington Post. It's been reported. So is this true or false? Either way, if it's true or if it's false, it's crazy that this is the type of world we live in, where a 22-year-old is basically, I guess, blackmailing the United States of America. Help me or I will expose everything. How she got all this information, it's pretty damn simple, because at the end of the day, you're talking about Don Jr., you're talking about Jared Kushner, you're talking about Paul Manafort before, just a whole bunch of morons in a position to really derail everything. That's what this is. A bunch of fools given opportunities that they shouldn't be given, and here America is. The fact of the matter is that right now America is the laughingstock of the world. You went from being a superpower to like, hey, this is one of the best reality shows we might have ever seen. This is the world we live in now, America. You are a reality show. Thank you. Moving on. Oh man. It is Women's History Month this month, March. I'm pretty keen about that actually. I'm pretty keen. I want to see, what does this mean exactly? What does Women's History Month mean? What do we address in this month? What are the discussions that we have? You know, we now see, for example, Batabile Dlamini is the new head of the Women's League, I think it is. Somebody who, yeah, I mean, she supported one of the ministers who had abused 2 women in a nightclub. She said that he didn't do it when there was actual footage of him doing it. I mean, is that somebody who wants in charge of women's rights in our country? Somebody who supports and applauds women abusers? Somebody who is a really strong supporter of Jacob Zuma? And we know all the allegations against him. Is that what we're gonna champion in Women's History Month? What are we championing here? What's the goal? What's the way forward? I would love to see it. I want to know. Because is this one of those things that comes and goes? Is it just something that trends for a couple of days? What are we speaking about? We need to figure that out. Let me know so I can actually start speaking about it too. I want to be involved in the conversation. I want to help the conversation. I want to better the conversation. That's just my opinion here. Moving on. I don't know if you guys have seen, I think it was released on either Thursday or Friday, Lacoste new, the new range. You know, they took away the alligator and they basically replaced them with endangered species. You know, the great thing about this is the number of released will be the number of animals that are left of that animal. I think that is an amazing initiative. I think it's extremely beautiful to see that, you know, brands are still being brands. They still, you know, yes, brands are still being brands, but they are finding a way to communicate with the people and get some awareness out there around specific things. I mean, we saw the Hero Act by Marvel and Disney, where they basically are, you know, donating money to Save the Children's Hospital. You know, the only thing that I have, I guess, that I would say that I have against what Marvel and Disney have done so far is they want to get to 1 million likes on any Facebook post and they will give $250,000. Cool. Please don't think that I'm knocking them here. What I'm saying is I don't think you needed to do that. I think you could have done something in terms of a Hero Act where you challenge people. You know, hey, we're going to give $250,000. How about you give $1? Show us your hero. You know, something along those lines. But hey, it was amazing to see. I love when brands do these type of things because it just shows their human side. You know, that's the truth here, is that we are all human and we all, you know, we need each other more than we realize, especially in these times that we currently live in. Speaking of brands who are doing great things, Dick's Sporting Goods have removed, they will no longer be selling AR-15 style rifles, which is fantastic. They will no longer be selling rifles to people under the age of 21. Another fantastic move. Brilliant. It's that simple. Maybe you don't have to change the Second Amendment, you just have to change specific laws or rules from the specific stores. That's it. You know, we all heard Donald Trump say that we should equip teachers with guns. Okay, cool. That's probably one of the dumbest things you've said. But what happened in Parklands with one of the sheriff's deputies when the shooting was taking place in the school? He was outside with his gun. So what you're trying to say is give teachers guns for what though? I mean, there wasn't, just last week I think there was a teacher who basically took a class hostage. There was no, thank God, there was no injuries, nobody was harmed, but he took them hostage with his gun. You see how karma works? You know, it's not a matter of just coming up with radical ideas and saying radical things. It's really about thinking about it. Think about it. Take a second to think before you speak, Mr. President. I know that must be difficult for you because all you have on your mind is cheeseburgers and Diet Cokes, but you've got to think for a little bit. So all the stores that are basically starting to follow this initiative of no longer selling AR-15 style rifles and putting an age limit on guns, I applaud you. I think it's a fantastic move. It needs to be done to protect people. Not just the kids, but to protect people in general. There are there's way too many shootings taking place in the world. There's too many shootings. You know, we've seen everything that's taking place in Syria. We've seen the problems that Donald has actually caused between Israel and Palestine with the nonsense that he said. The violence needs to stop. We've shed enough blood. Enough blood has been shed in this world. But unfortunately, speaking of bloodshed, Vladimir Putin and the Russian military have tested a new underwater missile, which cannot be detected. My word. This is such a great opportunity for America to start putting sanctions on Russia. When North Korea did it, Donald was quick to speak. Russia does it, and you say nothing. You literally, you know what? Have double standards, okay? Have double standards, but don't show it to people. You think people are stupid? Honestly, there are a lot smarter people in this world than Donald Trump. This is the type of things that need to be prevented in this world. I don't understand why we are testing missiles People might say I'm stupid for that, but cool. Unless there's another planet that is coming to attack us, I don't think we should be testing missiles anymore. I think money should be put into things that can help benefit the world. I don't see how new missiles benefit the world. I really don't. But that's just my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on the late shift. I'm sorry that I wasn't around on Friday, but I'm back. It feels good to be back. Maybe we'll do the shows on Mondays now. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see the reception we get from this. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to know that I'm going to keep on doing this no matter what. 0 views, 1 million views, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to keep on spreading my opinion because, not because I'm entitled to it, but I feel that rather having the conversation versus not saying anything at all is better. I would rather speak than not speak, and I'd rather put my thoughts out there to actually engage in conversation with people. I'm your host, Suleiman Steele. This is The Late Shift. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a fantastic week. Goodbye.